God has Soulful Sunday. I need a what? Hi, and welcome back to Super Soul Sunday. I'm Antoinette. Happy to be here another day. And I have a question to ask you. Have you ever said to God, God, if you get me out of this, if you save me from that, if you give me another chance at my family, I'll praise you and I'll never get entangled in something like that again. If you just forgive me this time, if you just let me off the hook this time, let me walk free, God. I promise you'll never have to worry about me again. Have any of you ever prayed that prayer? Said something like that to the Father? Well, I actually want to turn it a little bit. What about the prayers that you've prayed and you're walking in those blessings right now? Some of you prayed for a second shot at your marriage. Maybe things were going really bad and you just knew it was going to end in divorce. And right today, you still have your spouse. What about praying for an illness and today you've been healed? Job, career, family issues, emotional dysfunction. And today we walk in the blessing of those. Those prayers have been answered. My question is, have you told God thanks for those things? You see, because we get so busy looking around at what we do not have and the prayers that have yet to be answered that we forget that we're already walking in blessings that we asked for. You know, the last month or so, I've been meeting some new people and associating with some familiar people. And in conversing with these folks, I discovered that several of them had been through some of the same things that I've been through. And God have brought me through it. Just last night, my husband and I were on date night, and our server began to just vent to us about her life. One of the things that she mentioned was a concern of mine, a major concern of mine. When I discovered that I was pregnant with our fifth baby, there were some major concerns that I had, you guys. I have to be honest about it. And this day I sit here with a 3-month-old baby, and those concerns are irrelevant, null and void. God brought me through it so smooth. Although it was rough, that was a rough pregnancy. But the concerns that I had, none of those concerns are factual right now today. And I was thinking as she spoke, I felt like getting up, running out of the restaurant just last night because I said, Lord, God, Father, you brought me through that. And this isn't to make light of her situation or anyone else's situation, because I'm sure those of you who are listening today, there are some things that you have been stuck in. It have been some situations and you said, oh, I'm not so sure how I'm going to come out of this debt free. I'm not so sure that I'm going to come out of this without losing my family, that I'm not going to come out of this without a charge over my head. And look what God did for you. Look at you today. And yeah, we can say, well, it didn't happen the way I wanted it to, Antoinette. I still have this hanging over my head. This is still an issue. But I can guarantee you that it could have been worse. I know in my case, things could have been worse. There are various things that I can tell you about that have occurred in my life. And right now, today, I'm blessed because things could have been worse. There's a song that says, it could have been the other way. You guys, it could have been the other way. Today, my message to you is, let's take some time and reflect and give our God thanks. Because on one of the previous videos that I made, none of us are being paid according to the things that we've done. We all haven't always been on the straight and narrow now, okay? Nevertheless, we have not received consequences for some of the things we've done. For that, we owe God praise. For that, we owe God honor. And God isn't requiring us to make us a promise. I'm sorry, He's not requiring us to make Him a promise. As a matter of fact, the Bible tells us it's better for a man not to even make a vow and break it. But think about this. What if you go back to that promise you made and you actually do make good on it? Some of you have not used your gifts, talents, and skills in months. You have not used your passion in years. You're good at talking to people. You're good at sharing your testimony. You're good at working with young people. You're good at computer engineering. You're good at working on cars. You're good at HR information. Some of you are good with writing letters, resumes, all of these things. You're good at landscaping. And you're sitting out or sitting down doing something totally different with your time. And that gift, talent, or skill can be used to give God glory. Because as you use that gift, you're going to come in contact with others whom you can share your story with. And I can guarantee you that some of them they will be going down the same path that you have once went down. They will be dealing with that battle that you once fought. And you can share with them what you did to come out of it. And they too can give God glory. That's what it's about. When we are lights in this world, when we are lights, that's what it means. We overcome by the word of our testimony. You see, some people think that, we just have a good time. We have a few glasses of wine and we drink and play music. Everything's going to be fine. We'll have a great time. That's one aspect. But when you sit down and you share your story with someone, you have no idea the benefits that can have on a person's life. Some of the people that you party with, go to the potlucks, sit down at Chili's and have a glass of wine with. Some of these same people are dealing with battles, demons, and they're trying to figure out, how can I get rid of this? How can I rid my life of this stuff? I want to be free. And yet we sit there, we talk about politics. We talk about sporting events. We talk about how fine the ladies are at the job. We talk about how sexy the men are, their hard bodies. We talk about how bad the kids are. All of this. Never mentioning where God has brought us from. When you were on the streets, homeless. When you were on the streets, being a womanizer. When you were running behind men, being a side piece, side chick, side dude, all of these things, stealing, going in stores, taking what doesn't belong to you, walking around here lost, not knowing who you were. But God turned things around for you. Maybe you didn't pray for change, but maybe your mother did. Maybe your grandmother did. Prayed for a change. Someone prayed for you, and look at you today. As I said, things could have been worse. And for those of you who may say, well, Antoinette, I don't feel that way. I have so many problems in my life right now, and I've been praying for a long time, and change still has not hit my life. What about me? I would say to you today to give it more time. All of us have to endure a process. And Rome wasn't built in a day. Apartments and homes are not built in a day. So the benefit of your trial, you will not see it in a day. You have to give it some more time. And for those of you who feel like, Antoinette, God has not smiled on me, I will still tell you to give it some more time. And while you're giving it some more time, I want you to sit back and reflect on where He has already brought you from. Look at where you sit in addition to or in contrast to where you were 15 years ago. Some of you can look at your life and say, Antoinette, where I was 3 months ago, it's been a total change from where I was 8 months ago. 2 weeks ago, some of you have had a huge change just from 2 weeks ago. There is so much that we owe God a praise for. And it's time to do it now. We can't get too busy that we forget the first things. And the first thing, if we say that we love God and God is first, there is no reason why we shouldn't be honoring God. Honoring God. I'm not telling you that you need to be down on your knees for an hour a day. I'm not telling you that you need to go down on your knees 3 times in a day. But I am telling you, there is some time that needs to be carved out of your days, out of your week, where it's just about you and God, honoring God, appreciating Him and thanking Him for what He's already done for you. Just giving Him glory for who He is to you, who He is in His majesty and power, His glory. There is no one and nothing like God. Man will fail us. Friends will walk away. People that we love are going to die. But there's one thing that remains the same, and that's the faithfulness of God. And for that reason alone, God has smiled on us.
God has smiled on you. He has set me free. Oh, God has smiled on me. He's been good. He's been good to me. Has God been good to you? Has God been good to you? I know that's right.